Hiya guys, it's the Garage Gym Geek here again with another video review. Today we're talking about flooring. There's lots of options when it comes to flooring. If you watch some of the American guys doing these kinds of reviews, they'll talk about horse stall mats. I don't know if it's a big thing in the UK, but they seem to provide a really affordable way to protect your floor. So horse stall mats, you've got those really cheap EVA type rubber foam that you can buy in Aldi and Lidl, places like that. It all clicks together, and that's what I started with. You can have painted floor, just paint your concrete floor. You can have those sort of roll out epoxy things that probably you want a professional to fit, that go into bathrooms and things that they stick down and they seal. And then they've got rubber, which is what I've got. So we're going to focus predominantly on why rubber, what kind of rubber flooring did I buy, what are the options and things like that, how much did it cost. So let's talk rubber. Building my gym, it was really important to me to buy a rubber floor. I did lots of research. For me, a rubber floor gave me the look I wanted. I wanted a black floor, black equipment, white walls. I wanted it to look like a gym, and I wanted it to help me reduce vibration and to dampen noise. I'm fortunate to have a detached house, but I still have some neighbours nearby, and I wanted to be respectful of those neighbours. So for me, a little offcut here, but this rubber stuff is what I wanted. You can get lots of different types of rubber floor, and you'll see when you start doing your own research. You can buy it in 1/2 metre squares, you can buy it in 1 metre squares. You can buy 15mm, 20mm, 30mm, 45mm I think, all different types. And you can get different types of rubber. So the cheaper stuff I've heard from other review videos can be really stinky. The stuff I bought, and I'll put a link in the description to the people I got it from, really doesn't smell at all. It's got a gym smell, yeah. It's got a rubber floor smell, but it's really delicate. It's fine. You wouldn't notice it. I got this little offcut out so we could have a closer look at it. So this stuff here, it's really serious stuff. It's really hardy. It's really tightly packed together. It's really good at absorbing impact, and it's got some nice edges and corners on it and stuff to make it look decent. And we'll go for a little tour of the floor in a minute. And we'll have a look at it up close. I've also got a time lapse that I'll cut into this video that shows the video going down. In terms of what I bought 1 metre tiles. I thought that 1 metre tiles might make the space look bigger. So it's just under 3 metres wide and it's just over 4 metres long. And so I thought 1 metre tiles would look good. And because of the dimensions, I only had to trim sort of 3 of the tiles on one side, cut about 10 centimetres off the end to make them fit, and then I needed a tile cut in about 3 pieces to finish off under the door. I thought, how many should I buy? So I know I need 13, but these places usually have a minimum order, so the people I bought from, you could only buy 7 or more. And so what I thought was, let's get a couple of spares. Maybe I cut one wrong, maybe something goes wrong, maybe my measurements weren't good enough and I've missed something, or maybe if I cause damage to a tile somehow, or a tile is looking a bit worn, maybe under the squat rack where I do most of the work, we could pull it out and we can put a new one in. So I've got 2 spares, and we'll have a look at those. So here's one of the spare tiles. Like I say, I've got 2 of these. These weigh about 16 kilos each. They're serious. They came on a pallet all strapped together. But yeah, they're heavy, they're hardy. They've got this really nice beveled edge, which we'll look at in more detail in a second. Gives you a nice line across the floor. I've laid out some of these things that I use to lay the floor. So I've got a concrete floor underneath, and I saw lots of reviewers talking about you really need to seal the concrete, otherwise moisture can come up through the concrete, get trapped under the rubber, and then you just end up with horrible mould apparently between the 2 layers. So they said you need to seal it. So I got some patio sealer. Concrete sealer was about twice as much in terms of cost, but this stuff on the back, it said you can use it for concrete, so saved a few quid. It's about 15 quid on Amazon. and I've only used half the tub. Painted that on, 2 coats, and I used a little tiny gloss roller. I've swept the floor really well, I hoovered the floor, was really fussy about getting all the dust up, and then I sealed it. And not only does the seal help with the moisture problem, but it also, because I left a little bit of my flooring as just concrete, which I'll show you, it keeps the dust down. So now when I come into the garage and I get my bike out, or I put my bike away, if I want to come into the house through the garage, I don't leave dusty footprints all across my rubber floor. So seal your floor. I needed to cut my tiles, so I got a metal 1 metre rule. Gives you a nice sharp line and also protects your fingers a little bit when you're cutting it. It's quite tricky to draw on rubber flooring, and so I got a Chinograph pencil. So normally you'd use these for things like map and compass. You'd be drawing on your map in the rain out on the hills, which is what I normally use it for. But it also is really good at drawing a nice straight line on a rubber floor. And then you need a super sharp knife with some spare blades. I think I used 2 or 3 blades. So these things are thick, mine are 30mm. You have to keep scoring them. So they're not hard to cut, but you basically get your ruler, you put your nice line on there, and then you score and you score and you score, and eventually you get your way through it. It's worth taking your time to get a good line. And obviously you want to try and put your cut lines up against, you know, the walls and not have them in the middle of your floor. So have a little think about how you cut them. But they're the sort of things you need to put your floor down. And then just take your time. I think when I laid my floor, probably took me about 3 hours. I had quite a bit of cutting to do. I had some walls to cut round. So behind me is a couple of pillars. I had to cut a little notch out, but actually that helps, because what it means is the floor's sort of squashed and keyed in. There's 2 pillars that hold it in. And I tried to tuck it in real tight, so when you're laying it, you don't just lay them next to each other, you sort of lay them so they overlap a little bit and encourage them down. And there's a bit of tension then from wall to wall holding the floor together. None of them have popped up, you know, they're heavy, they're 16 kilos, they hold themselves down. So yeah, we'll watch the time lapse and you can see the floor come together, and then we'll come back and I'll give you a little tour and you can see all the lines of the floor, and we'll talk about what we had to chop. So let's start down at the garage end. So you've probably seen in my gym video tour that we keep this end as a little bit of a garage. These walls actually gave us a really good excuse. So there's a wall and a big RSJ there. And so we left this end for bikes and random rubbish that I keep saying in every video I'm going to move, and I still haven't done it. But here's the floor. So the floor was stained. There's some splodges on it. It was a garage. And I thought, do I really go to town on it and clean it and make it look really nice? And I thought, you know what? For now, let's just seal it. Maybe later we'll paint it or we'll do something else with it. But it's got a nice sort of shine to it. 2 coats gave it a shine. So it says on the patio sealer, give it 1 coat to seal it, give it 2 coats to make it shiny. So this is the stuff. Got it on Amazon. And like I say, I can walk into the garage now, get my bike out or put it away. And I can walk over the rubber floor. And I'm not leaving footprints everywhere. So down here you can just see the edge of the rubber floor. You can buy edging strips from most companies, but again, I wanted a nice clean definition of this is the gym, this is the garage. So I painted the wall white up until this point, and then I left all the wall unpainted, and I left the floor with a nice clear line. So as we walk into the gym, you can see I had to cut a notch around this wall. But again, like I say, that helps key the tile in. The weight of the rack on the middle tile stops it going anywhere as well. And these tiles here, we had to cut about 10 centimetres off. So all the other tiles, so 2, 4, 6 tiles went in with no cuts, and then several other tiles needed cuts. But I think these 1 metre tiles rather than ½ metre tiles make the space look bigger. And so down towards the end here, we needed 1 more tile. and we basically had to cut it into 3, and there's some little random offcuts there. There's some more random offcuts there. There's random offcuts under the cupboard. You know, they're everywhere. I don't know what I'm doing with them yet, really, but they're good to stack up and stand on. So you can see these nice neat lines and these beveled edges that I was talking about. Yeah, it gives you something to line up as well as you're laying the floor. We've done a pretty good job. My wife helped me once she got here. You'll see in the time lapse once she got here, things went a lot quicker. She came in and cracked the whip and got me motivated and got me to finish. So yeah, there is the floor. Final thing to talk about then is price. So horse stall mats we talked about at the start of the video. I think I'd needed about 4 of those if I was going horse stall mats, but they're really thin. It probably would have cost me a few £100 to put those down. The EVA mats I talked about, the really manky foam ones, that they're all right for doing, you know, sit-ups on. Probably less than £100 to buy them. This flooring, 30mm, I went quite thick, was less than £500. I think it's about £460, £470. The people I bought them from, they've got a discount code, or they did have on their website. So I used that discount, and they came real quick, like 3 days. When I decided to build the gym, I wanted to get things done as quickly as possible, but obviously I needed to paint the walls, and then I needed to put the floor down before I started to get anything else. I didn't want to ruin the floor by painting afterwards, so I got the walls painted, I ordered the flooring, it came real fast, and as soon as the flooring was here on a pallet, then I ordered the rack, and again that came real quick. So there was a real urgency to get each thing done before the next massive thing turned up. But anyway, I digress. If you want to know more about the gym itself, go and watch our gym tour video. If you want to know more about these drop pads, we've got a video on those. And we've got loads of other things coming. So if you see anything in the gym as I've been moving around, drop me a comment, let me know what you want to know more about, and we'll prioritise that video next. But to summarise the floor, for me, it's a rubber floor. Go rubber, go nice and thick. It's going to last for years. It's going to look the business. Just take your time. Let me know what you think and what you've done and what you plan to do in your gym now as a result of this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.